What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Opendoor, more specifically the price action that did occur, because in general going into Friday, I think all the data points were signaling that we were going to have a very nice push higher. Unfortunately, the opposite kind of happened. So even when I did my video on Friday, I went over how hypothetically it could just be because of lack of catalysts, and that might be why Opendoor was consolidating. But after doing a little bit of deeper dive, I did find one red flag that kind of makes sense why Opendoor did go down on Friday and consolidated. So I want to go over that one red flag, share it with you so you guys do your own due diligence. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So as far as news, there hasn't been anything recently. So the last PR did come out on September the 17th. There's been quite a few Form 8Ks, Form 3s, Form 4s, and everything else. Friday morning, we did have this that did come out, so an 8K. And so ultimately in this 8K, it goes over the transition to the new CFO. Some people see this as optimistic. So ultimately, this Christie is going to be the new interim CFO effective September 30th, 2025. And it looks like they are going to be in this position pretty much up until May 2026. And so the old individual, this person right here, pretty much fired immediately as of September the 19th. It doesn't say fired, of course, that's just how I am interpreting all this. But nonetheless, a couple of additional things I want to bring up. So Christie, who is the new interim CFO, does get roughly around 400,000 in RSUs, about 1.2 million for the base salary. So it is 1.2 million, subtract what they've received from the letter of offer right over here. So it's all pretty standard stuff. So in general, I think a lot of people took this as a positive that Kaz is looking internally at a lot of the executives. And I think it brought awareness to pretty much a lot of the open vacancies as well across the kind of executive team. So in general, we might be seeing a lot more of these hires and whatever else. But like I said, this is the only thing that really came out on Friday. So the fact that Opendoor just went down dramatically, you had a lot of kind of transactions, a lot of selling going on from institutions and whatever else, is very odd. So again, this is what prompted me to start looking at things a little bit deeper. And so ultimately, these are all the transactions that have occurred from insiders. So it goes over all the purchases, awards, selling, and everything. And so ultimately, if we kind of look at the new interim CFO, who is Christie, you see a lot of selling. So ultimately, right over here, you see a grand total of $1.4 million worth of transactions, and they're all sells, zero buys. And so even kind of scrolling down here, you see every single transaction that she has ever done. Last selling was pretty much in 2024, so November 22nd. And on a side note is transaction code S, meaning it is a straight up sell. It is not for tax purposes because that would be transaction code F. But nonetheless, a lot of selling going on, and it looks like she just gets shares and then sells, even way back in 2022. And so at the end of the day, some people might not see this as a big deal. I myself, I see this as a negative sentiment. And so never want to have a insider, or especially let alone as a high-end executive, as a CFO, having this lack of commitment. And because obviously their previous titles, they've gotten paid very well. You don't really need to sell all of your stock. So in my opinion, yes, that does show just lack of commitment. And maybe this is why you did see the stock price go down, because maybe the market's saying, hey, you know what, Kaz, this is a bad decision. So I could be wrong. What do I know? I guess to play devil's advocate, Opendoor, largely leading up to pretty much now, has sucked. Price action kind of says that as well. So even if we go over to the actual stock, aside from pretty much July 2025 when it started to gain some traction, it's been nothing but downhill. So maybe this is why you can kind of make the argument saying that this is why Christie was selling, and that's kind of justified. Again, you could do your own due diligence. I'm not getting you to sell nor buy, but I'm just trying to rationalize exactly what did happen on Friday. So in my opinion, Normally, whenever I see this type of action, I see this as a red flag. But again, you guys do your own due diligence. So let me know your viewpoint. Do you think that this is positive? Do you think that that is just old news and old history and is no indication of the future? Or do you see this as a insider or as an employee not really having a certain level of commitment? What's your general thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Stay tuned for my video tomorrow where I go over some expectations, some key levels to watch for, and everything else. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.